Hey San Antonio, this is Ana Sarabia coming to you today to talk about return on investment on rental properties. It is no secret that owning a rental property is the best way to create generational wealth over the long term. But the truth is that not all rentals offer the same return of your investment. So there are things to consider before you decide to go this route. The reality is that a lot of people, the perception that they have is that having a property, and renting it out is going to generate a lot of cash flow. But in fact, the beauty of owning a property to rent is that it bets on the appreciation of that property again over time. So even if you have a very modest cash flow after everything it's been factored in, you are betting to the long-term appreciation of that property. In San Antonio, the reality is it's a prime place to do that. As a lot of you know, after 22 years of doing a lot of real estate, I can attest to the incredible amount of increase of property value over the years. Well, we used to be a pretty modest, incremental, maybe at a 4% a yearly appreciation. That has changed over the years. And San Antonio now is not as affordable as it used to be. But going back to the fact, to talk about ROI, which is a return on your investment, the things that you need to consider before going here, number one is the occupancy levels. So it's always a good idea to go back to that particular subdivision and run a rental history just to see historically, how long it takes for properties to rent, how much they are renting for, so that you can compare with the property that you are acquiring. Then the next thing to consider are your operating expenses. And what are operating expenses? Well, they're comprised of a variety of things. What are the things that you as a landlord will have to carry, and what are the things the tenant will have to do, for the property, the time that they live in it. So it's a long list about operating expenses, a good way to offset a lot of the costs that might be involved and keep the upkeep of those properties, to always buy a home warranty. The home warranty that will take care of the major systems of the house, and once it's been determined that any failure was not caused by tenant misuse or abuse, then you as the landlord will be in charge of taking care of that. The next thing to consider obviously are the property taxes, the mortgage rate, the property location. The ABC of choosing a rental property needs to be close to good schools, needs to be close to major highways, and also have access to shopping. And by shopping, I don't mean a shopping mall, but groceries in general. So those are the three things that you're always looking for in a rental property, so that it can have a significant impact on how good the return on investment is going to be. So we can definitely help you out in determining if a property is a good rental or not. There are factors that are out of your control always. The vacancy rate is one of them, because you never really know what that is going to be. That we can do some historic background check to that, but the reality is all markets are different, and boy, if a market has been different, now it's this specific market that we currently have. So always keep in mind that you need to have some budget set aside for incidentals, again, the times that the property might be not rented out, and always also build a little escrow account, if you will, for any incidentals that may come. And another thing to consider is usually, properties that have carpet, things like that, you also have to budget out what improvements you're going to be doing. So like, for instance, we've been helping some clients lately, and my advice is to, if there's some renovations that need to be done, always thinking what are the things that will last more for someone that is renting a house. Because that's the other thing. We do background checks on tenants as thorough as we possibly can. But the reality is, you never know how a tenant is going to be upkeeping the property. So a good rule of thumb always is to include in the rent a management fee, so that you can send your someone that you trust or whatever every month, check on. You can also use it as a service to the tenant, put salt in the water softener, or change filters, or change bulbs, things like that, so that you always have access, to the house, and always be sure that it's being well kept. Anyway, this is just some thoughts about how best to determine if buying properties to rent is for you. If you have any questions, let me know. If you want to go more in depth about how to best go about this, just direct message me or call me 210-389-1357. And as usual, we just I do ask you to give a thumbs up to this video. Just help the algorithm do what it does, and I will see you next time.